Hey guys, it's Greg. Happy Wednesday. Here it is, hump day, right? Middle of the week. This is my favorite day to talk about freedom, so let's have a freedom conversation today. One of the interesting things about having freedom is we're always looking for it, and therefore we're always setting some sort of goal or intention or outcome that we want for ourselves in our lives and in our work and so on and so forth. And so what goals are really just expectations. And so what I want to talk a little bit about today is the power and the problem of having expectations, which is kind of like saying the power and the problem of setting goals, of having goals. Now, goals can come in any way, shape, or form. Expectations can come in any way, shape, or form. But let's look at the definition of an expectation. An expectation is the belief that something will happen or be true in the future. So, for example, if I decide I want to make $100,000 this year, that's my expectation that will be true or will happen in the future. If I want to have spaghetti for dinner, it's my expectation that come 5, 6, 7 o'clock at night, I'm actually having some noodles in my face and they taste really awesome. So that's what an expectation is. Again, it's the belief that something will happen or be true in the future. Now, let's look at the power of expectation, okay? The power of having a goal. In the world of goal setting, there was this fascinating study done by Harvard that what they did is they studied and they looked at their the graduating class of a particular year. And prior to graduation, it was determined that 84% of the graduating class had no goals at all, no expectations at all of their future when they got out of school. All right, 13% of the class had expectations or goals, but they didn't really have any plans for how they were going to reach those goals. And then only 3% of the population both had goals that they wanted to achieve, but also some concrete plans on how to get there. So what ended up happening? 10 years later, the 13% that actually had written down goals but didn't have any plans were actually making twice as much money as the 84% who didn't have goals at all. Expectations are pretty powerful. On top of that, the 3% that actually had set some expectations and goals and had plans were making 10 times as much as the entire rest of the class. So this doesn't only apply to income, but it was one fabulous example in Harvard about how expectation works. Okay, so the first piece in where expectations have power is in goal setting. The second piece is in direction. Expectations give us direction. You see, one of my favorite authors says that the world gets out of the way for people who know who they are and where they're going. And there's nothing truer. And actually, JFK also said that effort and courage are just not enough without purpose and direction. And when we set expectations, it gives us a direction to head, right? We may not know exactly how we're going to get there, but it does set some direction for us. And if we're directionless, then we're lifeless. The third power that comes behind expectation is hope. Guys, I think we undervalue or underestimate the value of hope in our lives. So here's the truth of the matter. When we have expectation, it gives life to hope. When we have something to look forward to, it gives life to hope. I'm reading for the second time, and I'm almost done reading this book. It's called Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl. You've probably already heard of it. But what I'm reminded of in the book was that one of the critical issues for people in the concentration camps was that they would give up about having any direction or any expectation. They're just like, I don't think anything's ever going to happen with my life. I'm probably just going to die here. And the fact was they did die really pretty quickly because they had no future expectation of anything different. Those are the three most powerful things about expectation. Now let's turn the tables here a little bit and talk about the problem that comes with expectations. Okay? The problem. So number one is that rules are birthed from expectations. When we set an expectation or an outcome or a goal for the future, we also end up subconsciously creating a set of rules about how we should get there or how it should happen along the way. Meaning, if I decide I'm going to be a world-class swimmer and compete with Michael Phelps or the Sharks, whichever, okay, I might have an expectation, a set of rules of how it should look that I get there. Whether that means a certain amount of hours in the pool a day or so on and so forth. And I may be right and I may be wrong. So rules can sometimes get in the way when we set rules that makes us inflexible, right? So expectation is the what, the goal, and the rules are the how or the process. And so number two about problems is the danger of inflexibility. Okay, so if these rules create inflexibility in us, this is part of the problem. Inflexibility. If you look at the study of neurolinguistics, one of the presuppositions of NLP is called the law of requisite variety. What the heck does that mean? The law of requisite variety means that he with the most flexibility controls the system. So in order for us to be able to do the process and overcome the rules, we need to be as flexible as possible and not set so many unhelpful rules for ourselves. Problem number 3, what if it doesn't happen? When we set an expectation or goal, what if it doesn't happen? Does that mean that I can't get there? That I can't win? What do I do with that? It's very interesting. So here's what I want to encourage you guys with. I want you to encourage you to have expectations and be flexible. This is where winning is done. Have expectations, have goals, have direction, but then be flexible on how you're going to get there. Some of you may be very familiar with the United States Marine Corps. And the Marine Corps has this motto, and their motto is adapt, improvise, and overcome. Okay? And we know the Marines get stuff done. So that could be an interesting motto to take on. Adapt, be flexible, right? The law of requisite variety. Improvise. Use your intuition that when something doesn't go quite right, turn the car around. You're allowed to make U-turns, okay? And number 3, overcome. Don't give up. Keep pressing on until you find the answer. I want you guys to win. I love you. Be great. It's what you're made for. See you soon. Bye.